everybody.
I'm Sean.
Kelly. Price.
Welcome to this week's Market Report. I have no idea what we're talking about, so you got to...
We're going to see if you can guess. Today's hook is, sometimes it's what's on the outside that counts.
Total materialism.
Sort
baby.
of.
Okay. Curb appeal.
Yes.
Okay.
Staging, which is my favorite topic.
Yes.
Well, one of them. But the landscaping, the outside, which is one of my least favorite topics. Like, it makes me hot just thinking about it.
So we have not gone through this at all. I don't know what we're talking about, but I do want to throw this out there. When you first pull up to a house, that curb appeal can, if it's just neutral, it doesn't really matter. But if it has, if it pops and it's beautiful, it immediately makes that buyer love the house. If it's bad, it immediately makes the buyer not like the house.
Yeah.
Even if the inside is beautiful, it makes the buyer wonder what's the maintenance of the house been because of the outside of the house.
That's true. I mean, it really can push a buyer over one way or the other.
Yeah.
We have a lot of weary buyers right now, and they might be pulling up and thinking that they're going to see this house, and they're like, nope, just take it off the list. Just stop.
Yep.
And then you have some that are like the ones who, hey, we're gonna go and induce labor next week. But we drove by this one, and it's beautiful on the outside, so we must see it, and that also works well. So
Okay, so this is important, and it can be done fairly inexpensively. Okay, so let's start. What are we talking about?
Okay, so that's right, folks. Looks matter.
Yes.
Especially when we're talking about staging.
You forgot what you wrote.
Well, because you kind of hijacked. I was gonna be like all quirk, like. So yeah, typically people do focus on the interior staging.
Yep.
And they completely neglect the exterior staging. Let's look at it like that, right? So what are 4 things that we can do? What do you think? If it were only 4 things, let me see if you can guess one of them.
Okay, just one?
Just one.
I would start with pressure washing your house.
100%, that was my first one. Power wash your house. Garage doors. You're also going to want to get your windows professionally cleaned.
Yes.
Remove the screens from the windows.
Yep.
That's going to be more about photography, but it still matters on the outside. And then your gutters. Mm-hmm. You also pressure wash your gutters, your sidewalks, driveways. Yes. All of that gets really clean. Decks and
It's a good point about the gutters, because you don't think about the gutters because you can't see it from the ground. But if you're on the upper floor and you're looking in out the window and you see gutters that are full of...
That's right, baby. They even have roof cleaning, which we did for a house we had in Florida.
Yep.
You know, we cleaned the roof, and it was amazing because the roof was great, but so fantastic.
Okay.
You get a gold star.
Yes, number 1.
Woo-hoo!
Pressure washing. Okay.
Also, one of the things I want to talk about on the pressure washing cleaning up topic is either replacing or repainting the front door.
Nice. Yeah.
Did you know which color door has the highest resale value?
Yellow.
Wrong.
Red.
And you know better than that. That's a great guess.
Okay.
Yellow is not a great guess. But you're actually wrong. Black has the highest resale value.
Interesting.
And that's great. Also, there are colors that are better for the style of your home. If you have a modern home, if you have a traditional home, if you have a Dutch, if you have colonial and all that, there are colors that go with that. Let me tell you.
What about a pet door in the front door?
That's a bad idea.
Okay. Next.
You're going to want to replace that. I had a nightmare about a pet door last night. It wasn't on the front, but it was on the back, and we had a big storm, and it kept like doing this thing. And I think there were like the descent hadals that were gonna come through, and I had to put my hand out there to close the door. It was so
You were making noises.
scary.
I woke up to you making noises in the middle of the night, and I was like, and then you got quiet, so I didn't say anything. Okay, anyway, back to business.
Anyway, okay, the other thing is lawn. Did you know the only thing that the thing that people mostly care about the lawn, guess what? It gets you a 217% recovery on cost. That's a 217% ROI.
Wow.
Return of investment. Do you know what that is?
No.
Regular, that's 4 to 6 treatments of weed control and fertilizer.
Yeah, I can see that. When you have a nice green lawn, it makes a huge difference, especially with families, because they think about the kids playing in the yard. And yeah, totally.
That's the truth.
Okay.
The other thing is your regular mowing. That's 104% ROI.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and that's important. As soon as you have those little, it makes it look very unkept. So that's important to keep the lawn.
is the word.
Unkempt.
It's unkempt. Fact check me, guys. I think it's unkempt.
Do it.
With an M.
I'm probably wrong. She's better with that. Anyway.
Unkempt.
Okay, so yes, we gotta so the lawn has to be done, keep it trimmed,
Yes.
okay, very good.
Yeah, the landscaping. Hedges. At a minimum, trim them.
Yep.
Ideally, if you're not a minimum kind of person, then you want to get those big overgrown azaleas and shrubberies
Yes.
out. The big overgrown. That was a Monty Python thing. I didn't do it right, but
It was close. I got you. Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna get those out, and if you have a beautiful backyard, you can replant them in the backyard, right? And then just replace in the front with like low grasses or new low hedges, but
Keep
like
it
that
clean
big
and,
overgrown
yeah.
thing is just a big no-no.
And from a perspective on that, I don't know if you're going to go into this or not, but if you end up with an inspection, if you're a seller and the buyer has an inspection, the inspector is going to check those bushes to make sure that they're away from the house for safety issues, but also with regards to rodents and things like that, and perpetrators being able to hide behind. We got a voice
That's a
going
good
here. So keep if you're going to keep the bushes, make sure they're trimmed away from the house so that there's space back there for safety.
Yeah. What do you think you should plant outside of what I just talked about, replacing the big overgrown stuff?
I don't think you should plant anything, but I think you should put potted plants by the front door.
100% potted plants by the front door.
Okay.
That's good. But if there's a place, you know what you can do whenever you have extra runoff of the house?
What's that?
There are certain plants that are very inexpensive that you can plant they'll suck up stormwater drainage a lot more. So that's really good. Like if we have a listing coming and they're doing the prep work and everything, and it's like, this kind of puddles a little bit, then we want to say, might want to consider putting some stuff there. And there's a whole lot of cheap plants and flowers that are native to the area that are
Nice.
fantastic.
Okay.
So lastly, number 4 is you're going to repair. What did I write? Repair, not replace or add. Only
So
56%
note,
fire.
she put this together for last week's report, but it was July 4th and we didn't get the report done. So
89%
that she's having to
Oh. I know, this is, do you think, if I'm gonna quiz you, do you think you should replace or add a deck or fire pit, fire structure to your outside, or replace what's there, even if it's not like the best?
I think you should repair or replace it because you're not going to get a return, an equal return on it.
That's right, your ROI is in the toilet. Don't do that.
It doesn't add value, but it adds.
Yeah.
You repair it, it adds visual appeal.
Visual repair? Yeah, it does.
Repair.
Yeah, especially after you've pressure washed everything, that'll expose any chipping paint and like little areas that need to be wood filled if it's a wood deck and all that kind of stuff. Fill gaps, power wash, keep furniture and decor outside simple. This is only enough to show what they can do with the space, just for them to imagine themselves being out there, not just as a wide open thing, but don't go crazy with.
So it's almost kind of like when you stage a living room, you keep it very clean lines, very basic, very small furniture, and then when you're staging your outdoor entertainment area, same
That's
kind of
the
situation.
truth.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So in summary,
one thing, you're going to clean everything, power washing, all of it, the lawn, regular maintenance, get weed control, keep your lawn just looking nice. It doesn't have to be amazing.
Yeah.
Planting, seasonal stuff, it doesn't have to be expensive, and then repairing and regrouting, resealing, recalking decks, or sometimes even windowsills and everything.
Okay. Outdoor interior.
And really, that's it. I mean, that's going to show your potential buyers that you take care of the outside, the inside's going to be taken care of, that it's just an all-around welcoming experience.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so let's get to the numbers. This week we're going to go over 2 weeks worth of numbers because we obviously didn't do it last week because of the 4th of July.
Didn't do too bad, right?
No, you did great. It was excellent. All right, let's get to the numbers. Okay, so let's dive into the numbers for the last 14 days because we did not do a market report for the week of July 4th, but I do have the stats in here, so I'll walk through that with you. Just a general overall feel of the market. It has been just the same as it has been. It's been multiple offers for most properties. Properties are going off the market very quickly. There are some that are staying on the market, but most of those are the higher end that are overpriced, or even modest, like nice median houses. Those are still, if they're overpriced, they're sitting on the market too long. until they adjust down to market value. So you may see some prices coming down in the market, but that's just the overpriced properties that are adjusting down. As soon as they hit market value, they're going really, really quickly. So that's the overall feel of the market. The pulse of the market, statistically, it looks like it's kind of slowed down a little bit, but the feel when you're out there, it does not feel like it's slowed down at all. So let's dive into the numbers. Let's look at the graphs and we will see what's going on. Again, these are for the last 14 days. So this was for the week of July 4th. Again, the orange line is buyer activity, the blue line is inventory. So for the week of July 4th, we had a significant drop in buyer activity and a significant drop in inventory, which brought us to this point right here in the strength of the seller's market. And then, as expected, we had a pickup in inventory and a pickup in buyer activity as people came back from the July 4th holiday. The increase in inventory was more than the increase in buyer activity, so we actually have a little bit more of a buyer's side market, just because that blue line is a little higher than the orange line, so that means there was a little bit more supply than demand. So we actually dipped into a little bit of a buyer's market right here for this last 7 days. Again, that's not what it felt like in the market. The fact of the matter is that what happened was we had so little inventory and the buyer activity had gone down, and then inventory shot up and buyers haven't had the chance to buy in yet. So it's not a buyer's market. It doesn't feel like a buyer's market out there experientially, but graphically it looks like a buyer's market. So what we expect to see over the next 7 days is probably see the inventory will kind of maybe have a steady uptick, and we should see buyer activity coming up. I kind of expect that we're going to settle in around this area for the strength of the seller's market over the next several weeks. It's still going to stay a seller's market, but it's not going to be as chaotic as it was over here. So buyers, again, it's a bit of an opportunity. Now, we may see a little bit of a weakness in that weakening of the seller's market, since the Fed is expected to raise the interest rates again here in July, and then maybe one more time this year. We may see it weaken down a little bit more, get a little bit more towards a neutral market. And as we've been trying to tell our buyers, now's the time as a buyer to try to get in, because you're not dealing with this influx of buyers that are sitting on the sideline. Because as soon as those interest rates do start coming down, flattening and coming down, we're going to see a lot of buyers that start flooding the market, and that's just going to take prices and skyrocket them. So buy the property now. It might cost you a little bit more in interest. And Kelly and I did a detailed video to show you what happens if you buy now at a higher interest rate versus waiting until interest rates come down, what that looks like, what the prices go up. And you'll see that you're actually going to save yourself quite a bit of money if you go ahead and buy now, and refinance versus buying later. Even if you don't refinance, you just buy now. Buying later is going to cost you more money. So I'll attach that video to the comments on this market report. So all in all, it's a good time for buyers. Again, we're looking at multi-offer situations, but it's not 15 offers. It's like 2 or 3 offers, maybe 4 offers. From a seller's perspective, it's still a great time to put your property on the market, because they are going quickly and you are able to capture all of that appreciation that has happened over the past several years. If you wait until the interest rates come down, you also will be facing more competition to come into the market, because what's keeping this into a seller's market, even in spite of the buyer activity dropping, is the fact that sellers don't want to sell their property because they've got low interest rates, and they don't want to go from a 3% interest rate to a 7% interest rate, so they're not willing to let go of their property, even if they do want to upsize or downsize. So as soon as we hit that neutral interest rate area, which is probably going to be around the 5s, maybe even the high 5s, we'll start seeing inventory starting to increase as those buyers flood the market. So as a seller, you're going to have more competition at that point. So yeah, it's just a good time. It's a good time in the market. If you have any questions or any comments, please put them in the comments below, and please feel free to be sure and share this market report, and let us know what we can do, or if there are any subjects you'd like us to shoot a report on for you. Okay, all right, so have a good week out there. Now that you're armed with what's going on, be prepared for strategic offers. Sellers, be prepared to get those properties on the market, and have a great week out there. All right, we'll see you on next week's report.